What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two for Two, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voices of the culture. I'm your host, Keith. I'm back this week, but as always, we got Nell with us, and we had to do the draft recap. So we got Jojo here, we got DC here. We're gonna do this thing just like that, man. So the NFL draft is over. We're gonna jump right into it, man. The main headline of the NFL draft has to be that man, Shedeur Sanders, man. Guy we thought was a consensus top 3 quarterback at the very least, right? Had at one point in time been talking about being a number 1 quarterback, but he slid all the way to the 5th round, man. So let's get y'all's reactions just on that, the thoughts, opinions, the whole nine. What you got, Jojo? Your team was the first one to say no. Let's start with you.
I mean, technically, we didn't say no. We wanted Cam Ward the whole time. But overall, Shedeur, I don't know. He probably did interview terribly because who knows? But I think they did it because of the ratings, and they said that was like the most watched draft. And since the COVID and stuff, 2020, I think that was actually the year I came out and went in the draft. But yeah, that's why I think. But he's a good quarterback.
Joe's running with the conspiracy theory.
I was like, conspiracy theorist Joe, okay.
How you feeling about it, DC?
I mean, it's shocking, especially to see, he was definitely, he had flaws in this game, you know what I'm saying? So, I understand, some of that being maybe, highlighted, especially if he didn't interview that well. They're saying, and it's not just, we've seen the reports. It's everybody's reporting that he was a terrible interview, and that he was very, came in and not really knowing fully what was going on, or maybe, making demands and things of that nature. But, I mean, to take, even his team took Dylan Gabriel over him, that's insane. Tyler Shaw going over him. I mean, I just think it's shocking. But, I mean, I think that what happens is, if you don't interview that well, I think they go back to your tape and kind of go through with a fine-tooth comb, and they're like, all right, if he's going to act like that, and we have this, and this issue, should we take him off the board? You know what I mean? Now, I think teams overthought it. They were a little dumb. They kind of got a little too into their head about it, because at the end of the day, like you said, I do think he is, at worst, the third best quarterback in this draft. At worst. I mean, the argument is for Jackson Dart for number 2, but I don't agree with that. But people do, you know what I'm saying? So I can see that, but I mean, to have so many quarterbacks go over him, that's insane to me. So shocking is to say the least. The long-winded answer to say shocking.
Yeah, it was a pretty shocking draft not to see him go in the first round, and then the second, third, fourth, and so on. So I agree with DC and Joe with the interview process. I don't think he helped himself out with the interview process. I had some question marks. I remember a long time ago, probably early in the college football season, I asked Keith and Walt what they thought about Shedeur, because like you said, he put up numbers at Colorado. He had a really good college career, but I wasn't necessarily seeing number 1 overall pick the way he was talked about, number 1 overall quarterback coming out. And I know the whole Dion thing, and teams were probably scared of that outside noise. But once it got past the second round, that's when it got pretty alarming. I can understand the slide, because personally, when I see him, I don't see a superstar quarterback. Could he be a starter in this league? Probably, in the right situation, I think so. But I never really saw a superstar quarterback coming out of Colorado. So the fact that no one wanted to take a chance on him in the top 10, and even in the first round, I wasn't necessarily going conspiracy theory after the first round, but once you go to the second and third round and he's not drafted, it's a little weird. He had a good enough college career. I think we've seen worse dudes drafted in the first and second rounds. You see Jackson Dart, the Giants trade back into the first round to draft Jackson Dart. The Saints drafting whoever that dude was, Dylan Gabriel, going third round. None of these quarterbacks we were talking about before Shedeur Sanders. So it's a little strange to see him go that late, but obviously we've heard the reports about the interview process, and he didn't do many workouts, or all the combine stuff that these other quarterbacks did, and these teams probably looked at that, and you see all the extra baggage that Shedeur comes with. Not really none of it his fault. I mean, he's just being himself. His dad is being himself. Like that. That's who prime time has been. And you get raised by that your whole life. Of course, you're gonna kind of be that kind of person as well. So. I don't think it was necessarily fair to him, but life ain't fair. So at the end of the day, he's on a roster. I mean, like, there's a ton of quarterbacks in that room in Cleveland, obviously, but I mean, I don't think it would be a complete shocker if he like won the spot or at some point throughout the season was maybe put in there. So I mean, at this point, he's just gotta go in there and ball out and do what he can to try to change that narrative. But obviously, it's there, and people worried about it. I mean, remember halfway through the season, Dion was talking about certain teams he wouldn't want Shedeur on, and kind of just that outside noise. I just think teams, the talent wasn't all the way there. Like if he was an elite talent, like de facto number one, he would have been drafted in the first round. But I think when you add all that outside noise and the stuff that it can come with, if you draft him and he's not your instant starter day one, all the chatter, people wondering what Dion thinks about this. Dion, you gonna come coach? All the extra stuff. I don't think owners and coaches wanted to deal with that, but I did like the Browns taking a chance on him. Browns had a really weird draft, but I like what they ended up with.
Yeah, NFL, they definitely took the opportunity to humble, Shedeur, maybe even try to, humble Dion as best they could. Owners, reports that owners are telling teams just take him off the board flat out. To everybody's point, it just kind of shows like they don't even want to deal with it, right? But
and all these owners think alike.
Exactly right. It's the good old boys club. I mean, it is what it is. So they're all on the same page. You don't want to be that one owner that was like, yeah, it's cool, right? Like, but I was gonna ask you guys, man, with that, like, what do you see for him? I know Nell said he could see him winning the job. Do y'all see him starting for the Browns this season? Do you see it happening week one, or it's a stacked room? Well, not stacked. There's a lot of people in there. A lot of people.
It's crowded. It's crowded.
Yeah, it's crowded, right? It's crowded. It's not high quality, but it's some jokes in there anyway. So what you think, Joe? DC?
Shoot, I'm about to say for me, shoot, I think he could end up winning it by week 3, week 4, because he's slowly winning the locker room already. I think Denzel Ward and
I did see some people
Jojo,
post some stuff. Yep.
yeah, and they drafted Dylan Gabriel. Nobody said anything about it, and then people are saying something about Shedeur. So it's like, if you win the locker room, that's really what
he's
matters.
He's like 5th in rookie jersey sales or something already, or 4th. Like I think they said it was like 10 posts from the Browns about him after they drafted him, and like they didn't like it. It's gonna be a situation. The money part of it obviously is gonna come into effect, right? He's gonna make you some money. He'll have fans, but we'll see. What do you got, DC?
I mean, yeah, I think there's definitely a chance for him to win the job. Obviously, I think when you look at that quarterback room, there's nobody that's scaring you off. You know what I mean? I definitely think. I mean, and to kind of like just like harp back on, I think that I think that the players are gonna rally around him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him start. And he's gonna start games this year for 100%. I think. It's just a matter of when. I don't know if they'll start him week 1. I think they probably give that edge to Joe Flacco, but I think. I mean, I know, but
that's
hey,
disgusting.
It's like I think at this point, you have what's their coach's name? Stefanski? Is it Stefanski over there?
Yeah.
He's their head coach. I think he's going to be trying to like fight for his job a little bit. So I think they start with Joe Flacco. I don't think they do well. I think we're going to hear the Dion talk around the Browns next year. That's all I'm going to say. But I think we're going to see promise out of Shedeur, and I think he's going to win the team over a little bit. So. To kind of
if Joe Flacco wins that QB job, we got a problem.
I mean, like, bro, I mean, it's not going to be Dylan Gabriel. It's not going to be maybe Kenny Pickett. I mean, hell, like, it could be Kenny Pickett. I mean, he won a couple games for the Eagles, but I mean, I shouldn't say for the Eagles. He didn't win them for, but like, he was the starting quarterback when the Eagles got W's. So I mean, there's a chance that
I saw that he's 13-4 in his last 17 starts.
See,
so I mean. Well, yeah, does have a winning record.
Also, just I know it was really funny. I don't know if y'all like saw the exact moment he got picked, but like right before it showed like the GM doing like the Draymond Green like talk in the coach's ear, trying to like convince him that's a good pick. And I'm like, he's in his head thinking like, damn, Dion's about to be a money spot next year. Like I just know it. But it's like he's trying to convince me for Shedeur, and he's like, all right, man, take him, go ahead.
Hey, he might buy him another year or two. You never know.
You're right.
Dylan Gabriel would have got him out of there halfway through the season.
Especially that was his guy. Especially that was his guy. Yeah, we'll see, man. What better way than to give a guy like Shedeur an extra edge, right? Let's see. They said you're a fifth rounder. Now let's see. So good luck to Cleveland. Good luck to Shedeur. How about winners and losers of the draft, man? Draft time's over. Who you got? Let's start with winners, man. Who's some of y'all's biggest winners?
I
Everybody,
mean,
not all at once now. Don't everybody.
I think there's a couple winners, right? Like, I mean, I have team winners, but I also have like positional winners. You know what I mean? I think this draft. I think if you're offensive defensive lineman, you can rush the passer, protect the passer. You're a winner. I think we saw a lot of talent drop in the draft because they weren't, interior defensive linemen that can, disrupt, or you weren't, the left tackle of the future. If you are one of those two things, or if you even have a hint of being one of those two things, you're gonna make some bread. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that was the big winners of just the trenches. And then I guess when it comes to teams, I mean, well, I guess before I get into that, does anybody else have any positional win? I think there's a lot of positional wins, but I think that that and running backs, I think we saw as winners in the resurgence again. So before I get into my teams, I'll let y'all talk first.
I like the running back.
I don't got nothing positional wise, but yeah,
Okay.
running backs definitely.
Yeah.
They were frowned upon getting drafted in the first round just a few years ago, and then Saquon pops off and has the season he has, and next thing you know, top 10 running back.
Yeah. No, I
It's guaranteed paid too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Didn't they say he's like second highest?
Yeah.
Right under Saquon, I think.
And that, hey, I can't wait to see that. I guess going to your team winners, DC.
Yeah, team winners. I got I think of course I'm gonna be a homer. I'm gonna say the Eagles. I'm not gonna get into it right now yet, but I think the Eagles did win. I think we had having Jai Campbell at 31. I think that's phenomenal. We got some other players too, but I'll try. I think we're gonna loop back on that later, so I'm not gonna go too into it. But I also think I have two other teams. I have the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals had a really good draft. I think coming out of the draft with Walter Nolan and Will Johnson at round 2. Listen, if his knee holds up, like that's a draft right there. Like you won right there. You know what I mean? Getting those two. And then the Seahawks. I really like the Seahawks draft. I really liked them picking up Jalen Milroe in the 3rd. They traded Sam Howell, so bye-bye Sam again. Sam's just getting, tossed around the league a little bit. But, and they got a lot of good players. They got a lot of dudes like, Imanwari and things of that nature, like just like Seahawks players, you know what I'm saying, that they kind of fit that mold. So I'm excited for them too. So those are my two, there are a couple winners for teams that I thought did well in the draft.
I definitely Seahawks for sure. I like their safety. And their tight end, because Carlos Arroyo, I think his name was, from Miami.
It's
Carlos Arroyo.
that's the form.
I keep saying Carlos Arroyo.
Yeah.
I think so.
Elijah Arroyo.
Elijah, I keep saying Carlos. I really keep saying Carlos. I'm stuck with that name, but
it's a good name.
I'm saying it might as well be. But the other team I had is the Panthers. I like how they got T-Mac, and then the dude from Texas A&M, I think Nick Squirtin, and then the Princey. Hey, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, Princely. And then at the pick that I didn't think they were going to get was Trevor Etienne. That shocked me. I was surprised.
I actually wasn't a fan of that pick or their draft.
Why is that?
Well, one, you don't need Etienne. You just got Dowdle to go with, what's my guy's name?
Chuba.
Oh, yeah,
right?
True.
I get T-Mac, but it's like, let's think about what your offense is. Your quarterback is Bryce Young. Is T-Mac a technician? He's kind of just like the guy you drafted last year, right? Big target, like, I don't know. It didn't move me. And then you talking about the guys they got, like those guys are. I think they didn't draft. I feel like they drafted projects with those edge picks. Like Princely's a freak, but like, is he impacting the game for you right now? Like, you're the Panthers. You need impact right now, and you just drafted a bunch of guys that either you're not going to need them, they look just like somebody you already got, or they're not going to be good for 3 years. And your team's already trash, and your quarterback is fighting for his life because y'all trash. So, and I'm a Bucs fan, of course, but I genuinely didn't love the pick. Plus,
I think you're good. I think you're getting a little wish on them.
Yeah, just a little bit. They got some. They got some
Like
guys.
T-Mac isn't like Xavier Leggett though. Like Leggett's a burner. Like he's a 6'5", like he's like
I
DK.
love T Mac was one of my favorite guys out of the draft. I'm just like positionally for that team though. Like, what did you get?
They
Where are
getting
you
the
moving?
guy.
I mean, if he's a guy, let's go. He's a guy.
I mean, he's a big body. You know what I'm saying?
He
I
is.
think
I
they,
like
they
him.
still have Thielen or no? Or did he sign somewhere else?
He's like 40.
I think he's
No,
still there. I
yeah,
think
They'll get open.
right.
still getting open.
I
Yeah.
draft him late in fantasy every year, and he be pulling through
He
late in the
missed
season.
he
At
missed
least
7 games
15.
of the year though. He
True.
gonna miss 7.
The games he played, he looked out. That's all I'll say.
Thielen be
That's a
cooking. He
fact.
cooked the Eagles. They listen. Thielen was working against us.
He always
But-
finds a way.
Who's your winners? Nell?
I got a few. Pretty much the same. Some of the same as all of you guys said. Eagles getting John Campbell. That was a big move. Cardinals went big on the defensive end. Let's see who else out there. New England, obviously. The DC's point with the trenches. They Mike Vrabel. You can feel his identity in that draft. Offensive line, defensive line. So, not sexy picks, but if you want to compete in the NFL, you got to shore up those trenches. I did like Carolina's. I know you hate him, but I did like Carolina's draft. Someone that we didn't say, I like the Chargers draft. Omarion Hampton and Trey Harris. I thought they added some nice players for Justin Herbert to play with. Pause, but also added some D-line players too. So I think they added some pretty good pieces in there.
Joe, did you finish winners or did I stop you with the Panthers?
Kind of stopped me, but it's all
You
good.
did.
My fault, guys.
Hey,
at least I remember.
That's fair. I want to say the other team that I say it's the one pick that I like. The Bills. I think Deion Walker from Kentucky, that big dude and the D tackle. They got him late, like in the fourth. So they need a big body because Oliver he misses some games sometimes, but that's gonna hold up against, especially in the playoffs. That's where they need him the most. So I say the Bills too, and then obviously I can say my Titans. It can't work. But it can't work.
I don't think our teams won the draft.
I mean, I really just like Cam Ward pick. I'm glad we got him because we needed something. Will Levis, he had too many memes going on. We don't need that no more.
Is he still on y'all's team?
Yeah, for now. I mean, I don't think they're going to trade him.
Maybe Cleveland needs a quarterback. They might need a quarterback, so
better stop.
Put in that room.
I still wish that the Titans got Travis Hunter, and then we still could have got Shedeur. If we really wanted to, we could have both.
I mean, hindsight.
But who knows? Yeah.
Do y'all like the Jags moving up for him for Trav?
I mean,
I personally don't.
Okay, you go first.
I just think the price of another first round pick was a tad too high to only jump up two, 3 spots.
Yeah, 3 spots.
Yeah. Because they're going to be trash. They're going to be trash. That will be another top 5 pick. Make no doubt about it. That will be another top 5% pick. So I just feel like giving that up, we'll see where it goes. But he better turn into all pro on both sides, like Jojo said, or I don't know about that move.
Yeah, that's a risk for sure. But
I think that GM was trying to make it. Isn't he a new GM, new coach? He was trying to make it. He's like, hey, let's do it.
He certainly made a splash. I mean, look, I think he'll have a great career. As far as the future of that franchise, who knows?
I think I get it. I don't dislike it. I think at the end of the day, you have a $250 million quarterback. You're stuck with him. You know what I mean? I'm not saying and the thing is, he's had really good moments. I mean, he's flashed greatness. I don't want to say he is great. He's not great. He's not even good a lot of times. But he has his moments of greatness. You know what I'm saying? And so I think they're hoping to if you can get a bunch of difference makers, not just good players, but difference makers around him, they're maybe he can take that next step. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't judge a team for trying to get that, make that big step. And also they did it it's not like they overreached for a player. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't go for a guy that we didn't have that high. They got arguably the best player in the draft. You know what I'm saying? So if you can arguably get what you think is the best player in the draft, you go get him. And so I think at that point, like, what's a pick if he is that guy? You know what I'm saying? Like if he like you kind of said, no, like if you think he has that potential, you do whatever you can to go get him. And so I think
and usually we see that for quarterbacks, not so much for non-quarterbacks. So I can't wait to see how it plays out.
I mean, that's if you think he can be a top, let's just say top 20 player both ways, right? I know it's like I'm just kind of trying to like I'm tempering expectations. That's still pretty high, but like top 20 both sides, like that you're getting a top 20 receiver and top 20 corner with one player for 5 years now. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's like I think you especially you need to have that type of situation happen when you are paying the quarterback that much money. You have to hit in the draft. And
Will he be on the field to give you top 20 production on both sides?
I mean, that's the question, right? I talked about that last week. I was like, if he has to stay healthy, right? Like if he doesn't stay healthy, then my entire argument is out the window. But you can say that.
I think there's a lot of question marks there.
Yeah,
like you said, he's arguably the best player in the draft, so it's not necessarily a bad pick. I'm just thinking about that first round pick that most definitely will be top 5 to 10 next year.
Yeah.
You never know, man. They might turn it around. They got that.
I think I know this one.
They got keys they're leading the charge now, so they might do something.
That's a whole squad. And they let go of a lot though.
They did.
Anybody that cost money? I think Evan Ingram gone.
Yeah.
I think is Duvernay? No, Duvernay might be there. Yeah, but they lost some players.
Oh, and I think who was the receiver too? He was gone too. I forget his name.
Kirk or Duvernay. One of them left. Yeah, one of them had left.
Unfortunately,
they need a receiver regardless. They should give somebody.
Unfortunately, I'll throw out my Bucks as a winner.
They got Brian Thomas.
Which I forgot.
That's true.
I mean, no, he's a dog. Him and Brian Thomas on the outside together is going to be crazy.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's a crazy tandem. I completely forgot about Brian Thomas.
No, it's going to. I don't like. How good is the AFC South going to be though? That's the only thing that really changes the argument of.
Was it that good this year?
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
They still was trying to compete for last place in the division.
Hey man, if Liam can turn Trevor Lawrence into Baker, you got something.
We're finding out Nell feels this way about the Jags, how Temp felt about Jackson Dart. Like this is Nell's Jackson Dart right here.
I'm hating that bad. I'm not hating that bad. If y'all fans of the show, I want y'all to watch. I do care.
Thanks. Okay. Nice winners for me, obviously. Gotta plug my Bucks. I think we're a big winner of the draft. We got some talent across the board. Also, my current hometown Ravens. I like their picks. Malachi Starks, and you get Mike Green, one of the top edge rushers. You get them in the second.
Pretty good draft.
I think that helps them. They got a lot of help on defense, and I think that'll be good for them. They did get a kicker because who knows what's going on with that man.
Justin Tucker, so.
He's on the Deshaun Watson arc, unfortunately.
My God.
Hey, the post accusation fall arc for those guys is pretty sick. But we're gonna move on. Any losers?
I mean, go down. You can go.
I don't know. Honestly, I had the Steelers down, but I don't necessarily see them as a loser. I mean, it would have been nice if they drafted a quarterback early, but I feel like they got Aaron Rodgers waiting to put pen to paper. Because I feel like if they go into this and Aaron Rodgers was truly a question mark, they didn't know if they were going to get him or not, I think you take a quarterback earlier than the 6th round. I mean, you just traded for DK Metcalf. I don't think you're trying to go into the season with the quarterback room that they have.
I agree. The only thing that makes me kind of question is I think they got a lot of talent regardless, though. You know what I mean? They didn't get their quarterback.
That's why I wrote them down, but I don't really see them as a loser anymore. That was just kind of my initial reaction. Overreaction, you could say.
I think my biggest loser, I mean, it's hard to call a team a loser because I think everybody, especially the week after the draft, We don't know what's
And
going
you never
on.
know how
Right?
these players are going to pan out.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So I think I think there was what was it, like the 2012 draft, where the Seahawks got all their like Legion of Boom players. I think like they originally got like graded like a D or an F or something like that, and then now look at them, they're
Crazy.
legendary defense. Yeah. Well, based off my first reaction, it's kind of similar to what you're talking about with the Jags. Now, I think the Falcons are a loser.
I was going to bring them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Trading future first round picks are just like, I don't know what
Yeah.
these GMs are doing.
Yeah.
Y'all don't got it like that.
Right. And like I get they feel like they got their quarterback in the future, but like, are we sure? I mean, it's the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? Like
And
we
they
don't
still
know
got their
what's going
quarterback
on.
at a pass on the bench making 180
Right.
million.
Yeah, and like you're trading a future asset like that to get in back into the like I don't know. It's just like you're trading back. Is James Pierce that guy? Like I guess you're hoping him he is, but like to give up a future first for James Pierce is just it's
At one
scary a
point,
little bit. I don't know, man.
at one point people thought he could be the number one pick in the draft.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I mean
potential.
he's a first round pick. I'm not saying
A
that.
year ago, but
I'm not saying he's not a first round pick, but I think trading back into the first for the same exact position you just addressed in the first is like I don't know. That's just kind of crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not stay in the second or like try to get move up a little bit in the second and see if Pierce falls or maybe you can get Mike Green or like something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there was a lot of talent where I don't see James Pierce being worth a future first, but who knows? What if he turns out to be the next Myles Garrett? You know what I'm saying? It could happen,
Yeah.
but it's just first reaction. That I can't get behind that.
feel it. Joe, you got something? Got a loser?
I'll say the Saints. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not
Oh,
trying
the
to hate,
vision
but
just stunk it up. Hey, come on.
nah,
Come on. There
because
we
the Saints,
go.
like, I just don't see why they picked that quarterback. Obviously, they must feel like since he's older, he has more knowledge and can do it.
Brother's
Even
pushing
though he
30.
came, I mean, he came out of he was in college with Justin Herbert.
The
Like,
Falcon way, the NFC South
That's
way.
crazy.
like
Herb's a vet.
that's the yeah. Like that was crazy. But other than that, like I didn't see that they picked anybody else except like Danny Stutzman or whatever from Oklahoma. Like
He's a
he might
dog.
be a
They got your
dog.
boy Devin Neal.
That is true. He learned behind AK, but outside of
Yeah,
that, it wasn't really much
yeah.
like from
To
their
be able to
team,
get a
bro.
quarterback and you go for Tyler Shaw at that spot is like,
Yeah.
I guess. Well, it's another one of those moves where a first time head coach, like you're attaching your the beginning of your legacy to this, right? Like this is your first pick. You're an offensive coach, Kellen Moore. You wanted a head coaching job. You got it. And you got to pick your quarterback. Well, obviously you didn't get to pick in the front, but you had a chance to get somebody, and you got Shaw. So we'll see. And they got Derek Carr in there too. So them and the Falcons. They're on the same wave, huh?
And Spencer Rattler. But
Forgot about
Yeah.
that.
I'm about to say, but even like going back, like you never know because everybody said kind of similar things about Bo Nix last year, and then he turned
That's
out
true. That's true.
actually pretty well. So you just never know, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the fit, right? Like these guys, how they get in with these squads, what they have them doing. The college game, we've seen guys in college throw for tons of yards, crazy stats, right? Like video game numbers, and then they never even played a snap in the NFL. So
Y'all see that
hey,
video of Shaw at the combine? He looked like
we
Uncle
did.
Rico. It was
Ah, my goodness, crazy.
I'm like, nah, man, you can't be 27 years old looking like that. I don't care, bro.
That was
You gotta,
funny.
you gotta wow me at that point. So, yeah.
Hey, man. But what are some of your favorite draft picks so far? Some guys that landed somewhere, and you just like, hey,
All right. Y'all might hate this one, especially because of the conversation we had, but I really like Mason Graham to the Browns.
Yeah,
Now,
I love it.
DC,
and
you
with
said the
Garrett,
Jags probably got the best football player in the draft. Well, if anybody watched the preview, Keith would argue that the best football player in the draft was Mason
sure,
Graham.
sure
And I
is.
mean, just the thought of him and Myles Garrett just torching offensive linemen and making life hell for quarterbacks. I'm very interested to see what that looks like on the field. And then, like I said, they get the first round pick next year. I thought it was a great move. Those two were just going to be wrecking offensive lines all season, and yeah, they got more assets to go along with it. I love that move from the Browns.
Nice. All right, hey, now look at you,
That's
man.
it's a good pick. I agree. I think I didn't mention the Browns. I didn't love the Browns draft, but I think they really nailed that first pick. I think Mason Graham next to Myles Garrett is going to be disgusting. Like that's going to be insane. my only issue is with is like they moved down, got the best player, or not the best player, but who they thought was like one of the best players, or who we say we think he is. But you use I mean, not to bring it back on this, but just like you use 3 picks of your draft on quarterbacks. If you could include Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur, and Kenny Pickett, so I'm just like, I mean, they
Now,
moved on your assets before
It was
what?
all over the place. It was certainly all over the place.
it was all over the place. But I do think though, when we look back on this, if you take out some of the middle, right? Let's just say they hit on Mason Graham, and let's just say Shedeur becomes a star.
Let's not
What you
forget about
did
the
was
running backs. They,
masterful.
they drafted some solid running
Oh,
backs
I
too.
mean, exactly. And so,
Yeah.
like, let's just say the majority of this class hits, and then one of the 2 quarterbacks, one of the 3 quarterbacks, you're looking like, hey, I'm not gonna lie, this team got Mason Graham, a generational defensive player, a bevy of quality starters, and a franchise quarterback in the 3rd or later.
Yeah.
Like, even obviously, this is one of those drafts we're gonna have to look far down the line and say, like, did the Browns do something right? But we also did all say on the preview, it's the Browns. They could do just about anything, and they came out there and did just about everything. So, like, we don't know, but carry on.
That's true. You got a point. You guys, one of these guys got to hit, right? Like, just like someone's got to work. So.
You hope. You hope.
Somebody.
If not, the Browns blow it up again. Like, blow it up again. What you got, Joe?
Well, honestly, my favorite pick of the draft was Jade Barron from the went to the Broncos.
Ooh, I had it on my list.
Like
I had it on my list.
that defense, that secondary is young. PS2, Riley Moss, him. I think they signed somebody else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they signed somebody else in the secondary. Like they're on the uproar. Like their D line, I think their linebackers led the whole NFL in like sacks or something like that this year. Because one of my shout out to DeAndre Tillman, my IEP alum, he played there, saying he posted that, and I was like, wow, hey, you know him too. Yeah, shout out Tillman. But yeah, like I think they're gonna shock the entire division for sure.
Nell knows I was very critical of Sean Payton, but it looks like that year he took off. He didn't stop working. He figured something out because the Broncos they're clicking. And at this point, this is what it is. I like that pick. I got like one. I got 2. I got one, and then like one I just think is cool. Malachi Starks to the Ravens. I mean, obviously, I thought the Ravens draft was really good. But I think the Ravens are adding some more chess pieces to that defensive backfield. That at one point last year we were like, whoa, right? They were terrible. They had to make some adjustments, move some guys around. Now you got Kyle Hamilton. He's a superstar out there. You still got guys like Marlon Humphrey. They just re-signed with Darius Washington. They got with Nate Wiggins. Is it Wiggins? That's the other guy. And then you add a guy like Malachi Starks that's going to be, I mean, moving around wherever you want. Like I think that's a great pick. And then my kind of cool one is Cam Scatterboo to the Giants. I saw somebody was trying to say that him and dang, why can't I think of my guy's name right now? Tracy, they're gonna be like Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw back in the day. That's what I saw.
Oh man,
I saw somebody post that. So I think that's exciting. For the Giants, I think it's a really good football player as well. So I had him on one of my favorite picks. What about least favorite? Anything you just like? I mean, I think we all kind of might have some similar.
I'm torn between the Browns and the Saints first quarterback selections.
That's what I got. Yep, that's
like it's crazy. I have the Browns as like my favorite pick and my least favorite. That's just how all over the place like they were. But yeah, Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, I think it was, that was a head scratcher. That's when everyone was like, all right, what did Shedeur do to end up here? Sorry, Jackson Dart, we can get it. But Dylan Gabriel, I don't think that was on anybody's radar, him being drafted before Shedeur. So that was a bit confusing. And then obviously the Saints, I don't even know who that quarterback is. Never watched him play. Never heard his name before the draft. So yeah, that was shocking. And he's closer to 30 than he is 20. So don't know how long they gonna wait for him to get ready. He better be ready this year.
He gotta come in and start. They said he was the last player to be drafted in the 1990s. Everybody else in 2000 baby.
That's actually crazy.
That's crazy.
That's nasty.
Wow. I have to, I mean, there's nothing else to really say. I think that's everybody's, I think that's my least favorite too, at least, is the Tyler Shaw pick. I mean, dude's probably got his doctorate by now. You know what I mean? Like, I really can't, like, I
Yeah,
can't
it was
vibe with
cool.
that when it comes to drafting the quarterback. He might prove us wrong. I know Bo Nick's a little older, but I mean, like, we also saw the flip side. Remember when the Browns picked Brandon Whedon? He was like 28 when he started. I'm like, and obviously that didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think if you can't make it work after 7 years in college, like it's probably time just to hang it up. But
7 years and
hey,
Nell, 7 years and Nell still don't know who you are. Come on,
no, that's what
man.
I'm saying. You know what
What
I
you
mean?
talking
I
about?
didn't
What
I
you
didn't
Look,
get
talking
to
I
about?
have
say
said plenty of times on this show I'm not into college football.
I
Hey,
didn't get
I'm
to say what my
saying.
favorite was, but I want to shout out. Temp can't be here, but his team actually had one of my favorite picks. The Jack Sawyer pick. It's just such a Steelers pick. Like I just think like getting the big dude like on the D line, like that's gonna probably start there for 10 years, probably get a couple Pro Bowls, but like just kind of just cornerstone dude. I think to get him in that like later draft, later in the draft, I think it was the fourth or fifth round. Um, I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. I think it was dope. So want to give love to Temp since he can't be here. I'm sure he'd have said that, or he'd have said somebody on this team.
Ted would be
Probably
over
would have
here still talking
disrespected
about Jackson.
another NFL athlete and got this podcast
He
shut
would have
down.
been there. I'm gonna wait for the compliment. He would have been.
Oh man, did you ever lose? Did everybody get a loser? I don't want to forget nobody.
I
Again,
mean, I
Yeah,
was
mine's
gonna
with
say
Saints and Browns.
a loser pick, but I just feel like they need like a big receiver. I would say the Packers, like
mm,
Matthew Golden, like he's good, but like I just feel like you need a bigger receiver. Obviously not like Christian Watson because he's barely on the field. I mean, he had an unfortunate injury, but they need like a guy. So I mean, hopefully he can turn into that guy because obviously you can't teach speed 4-9. Like you can't teach that. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see because they have guys. They have like pieces. They don't have that guy though. That's what they need to figure
yeah,
out.
yeah,
yeah.
I
I
feel
consider them for losers just because of that same reason. Like I feel like they left out the draft kind of in a similar place where you like now we just got more guys, right? Like that are what are they? What were you saying, Joe DC?
I mean, I can't call him a loser because I think Matthew Golden is going to go in there and be the best receiver. Like, I think we're underrating him
Oh,
slightly. You know what I'm saying? I think, but I do agree. I hear what you're saying. I think there's similar molds in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a lot of similar type of receivers to Matthew Golden, but I think he is like the best one out of all of the receivers. And I also think I think if you said that, like any Packers fan would probably shut their screen. They'd probably turn this off because they have never drafted a first round receiver for like since what? It
I
was
was I
like
was going to mention that. Let's give him some credit for at least
22.
trying this
That is
time.
true. They
I
drafted two
mean,
receivers too.
Aaron Rodgers is like finally, like what I mean, he's watching. He's like, they finally did it for somebody
yeah.
because they've been needing a first round receiver for a long time. So yeah, I can't knock him for trying.
Not true.
Nah, I think Matthew Golden's gonna be pretty good. It's just the Packers.
He just reminds me of like a faster Dayton Reed, like
Yeah.
in a way.
Like I don't know. DC said the best guy in the room.
I mean, Christian Watson has a hard time catching the ball, and he can run fast, but he's injured. I mean,
Yeah.
like Jaden Reed's good, but I mean, are we? I don't know. Matthew Golden just has the highest upside immediately too. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like,
Nah.
and we've seen like these receivers come in, they produce now. Like it's not like
Right.
you don't gotta wait 3 years.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Absolutely.
aside,
You know
yeah,
what?
That's like the pro and con
Never.
about it. A
Right.
rookie having a 900-yard receiving year is like bad now or
it's like
okay.
okay, yeah,
Yeah. Right. Like they that wasn't a thing.
Right.
But do all right. We got any undrafted guys? You know, any guys that you like? Any guys your team might have picked up that you're most excited about? Joe,
I
you look like you jumping at the bit, chomping at the
yeah. I
bit.
mean,
What
I
you
mean,
got? What
you
you
know,
got?
we drafted
Oh,
Cam
I know,
Ward.
I know
We
where he's
drafted
going.
Cam
I know
Ward,
where he's
so
going.
we brought his guy Xavier Restrepo. Like
You
that's
did say that.
that's like the best undrafted free agents that you can get for a quarterback that's coming in, somebody that he knows that like that was his outlet at Miami. So that's my favorite like undrafted free agent, at least for my team. But
Your
yeah,
boy Nate Carter went undrafted with the Falcons, right?
I mean he went to the Falcons, but I'm happy for him. It's just the situation like it's
Yeah.
Bijan and like it's running backs that are there already, so it's gonna be hard to you got to bring him to special teams. Like it's hard for him, but he can do it. He works hard regardless, but. Yeah, I just think like the situation. Like, I wish he went to like it's somewhere that needed a running back or like that second guy or could be the guy. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles, we didn't really get a ton of like undrafted free agents. Like usually we kind of do, or we're a little bit more active, but I believe I signed Montrell Jordan, I think his name is, or Johnson, Montrell Johnson. And he's like a back from Florida. He's a bigger dude, a little bit bigger, a little bit stockier, you know what I mean? I mean, I like that pick just because he has a chance to make the team. You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually somebody that I could see like using that skill set. I know we have AJ Dillon we signed, but we had to see if he's even healthy enough to really make the team. You know what I mean? And like he didn't look great even when he was playing before a couple years ago. But I mean, obviously, also like I think the Falcons had a couple of good pickups. They had Joe's boy, but they also got Kobe Bryant, the corner from I think it was Kansas. He was a smaller dude, but he's a dog. I know people expected him to be drafted, so I think that's a good pickup as well. And then the Eagles, we also signed a dude. I can't even remember his name. I'll be honest with you, but
Rutgers.
Yeah, we got Rutgers guy. We got a guy from Toledo. We got Quinion's college roommate. So we're keeping our young corner happy. So I gotta give him a shout out as well. But that's what I got. I don't really, we don't like I said, we didn't have too many signings. So.
No,
it don't even look this way for some undrafted free agent analysis for me. I could barely tell you about the players coming in that got drafted. Now we talking about the players that ain't even get their name called. Nah, I'm back in the hibernation until August.
Hey man, my Bucks picked up the other Sanders, Shiloh, undrafted safety coming to the Bucks, and then my other favorite is Desmond Watson, the heaviest player in the NFL. The big guy from Florida. They said he was 460. They said apparently he's down to 430 now. We on the way. We getting him in shape. He coming in ready to play.
So where's the goal weight?
Hey, whatever it takes to stop the tush push, baby. Him and Vita, we up there. Whatever. Tush push to go to the Super Bowl. We got guys. Whatever you want, we're gonna
try to make him jump the snap like Commanders did. You're like 4 plays in a row. That's what we have to do. Because I'm not gonna lie, Desmond and Vita next to each other, that's a lot of body to have to move on that tush push.
That's like 800 pounds of dudes, bro. That's pretty sick. Pretty sick. But all right, let's get ready to wrap it up, man. Looking at the top 5 out of those teams, man, which team do you think after the draft is set up for the most future success based off of the draft and where they stand now?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do like it's kind of between for me like Browns and Giants, but like I really feel like the Browns, if they hit on Shedeur, like it could turn out to be like a really good draft and future for them. Like I said, I think Mason, like I don't think anyone sees Mason Graham like not being an elite player. Myles Garrett's already elite. So I mean, defense, they got some pieces. Like I said, Judkins and Samskin were some pretty good running backs. They got Judy last season. I think he had his first 1,000-yard year. Like I said, if they hit on Shedeur or even Dylan Gabriel somehow, I think like they can turn it around quicker than all the other teams in the top 5. Giants got some nice pieces too. Abdul Carter. I mean, he's probably going to be a pretty good player. They traded back in the first round for their guy. So if Jackson Dart, he doesn't have to start right away. They got Russ and Jameis there, so he can take a couple years to learn, which is not something that many first round quarterbacks actually get a chance to do anymore. So I mean, if he can sit back and pick up on some things and be ready when his time is called, Giants can do some things in the future.
We got the Titans, Joe.
I like that. I mean, I like my Titans picks. Like, obviously, Cam Ward, but I don't want to talk about them right now because the teams that I feel like had the most success, like especially like for the future, like I want to say, we brought them up earlier, the Ravens, because they got those pieces like secondary, they got an edge rusher, and then that late pick with LeJohntay Wester, like he could be someone that shows up for them. Like Zay Flowers might get hurt, and that's like another body that's similar in a way. And then the Chiefs, I would say, like Josh Simmons, they got another
contenders.
All right, yeah, like we said in the top 5. I was gonna let him finish his spiel first, but like teams that picked in the top 5. The teams that picked in the top 5.
My bad. I've just heard that.
I was gonna let you go into so good. The Chiefs. I said,
Yeah, I
hold
thought
on.
him.
My bad.
He just picking out. Next, it's gonna be the Eagles.
Nah, it was them and the Chiefs. Nah, I thought you meant like who set themselves up for success, like the best out of the draft. I misheard that. But shoot, my Titans, we up. Tighten up, you heard?
You know,
I think the Titans did a really good job. I actually think we didn't talk about them enough, but the Patriots. I think
That's
the
right.
yeah, I
Patriots
was gonna
have
mention him too, but I ain't want to pick half the damn teams. But yeah, I like what
I
they
think
did too.
yeah, they got the best left tackle in the draft. The pair with their quarterback that they already feel very comfortable with. And then, they also came back, they got Travion Henderson to kind of pair up with Stevenson, Ramondre in the backfield. So I think that's going to be really good. I mean, they actually have a competent receiver. Let's hope he's healthy, right? But
Kyle Williams. Mm-hmm.
well, no, I'm talking about also in free agency too, though. I'm saying like they already have a team like they got Stephon as well.
Diggs.
Yeah,
We
they got
talking about
Diggs.
Kyle Williams. We talking about Kyle Williams.
Okay, I mean Kyle Williams is there, but I'm just saying like they have a team already established. Obviously, is what I'm saying. I mean, and then you're bringing in you have Vrabel, who's obviously a Patriot legend, also just a really good head coach. So I think they just did the perfect job of bringing in Vrabel guys to mesh with the team they already have. So I can't imagine them being in this same position again. I'm not saying they're going to be like contenders, but I'm just saying like they're not picking top 5 next year. You know what I mean? They're definitely going to be a lot better.
I just feel like I just feel like the Patriots will be mid for a very long time, just because they had so much success with Brady for so long.
That's what
I
we're
just
hoping
like
for, right?
I just feel like now this is their time to just be at the bottom of the standings for years and years to come. But like I said, I do like all the moves that they made in the trenches, fortifying that, see what you got in Drake May, and go from there.
Yeah, I like it for
I mean, their division isn't crazy. That's the thing. I mean, they have the Bills, but it stops there. It stops the Bills. Like that's the only thing.
You're rocking with the
I
Bills
mean,
again
Dolphins
this year,
still
now?
okay. Say that again.
You rocking with the Bills again this year? We're going
Of course.
back to back.
I mean, in terms of what?
You know that Josh is your guy. That's your other team when the Cowboys lose.
They've never been my other team. I'm sorry that I just like picked them to be a top team in the AFC every year, which they are.
All right, we don't have to get into that today. What I do want to know before we close out. We talked a little bit about Joe's Titans. Do you have DC and L? Do y'all have any initial thoughts on your team's drafts?
I mean, I didn't really talk about it too much in the beginning because I obviously was going to seem like a homer, but I actually love their draft. I think it was one of the best drafts.
You get 10 seconds.
All right, bet.
Yeah, I'm
but I mean, Jahai Campbell. The only reason he fell that far is because the teams focus on the trenches so much. You know what I mean? And like D-line, O-line. One of the best players in the draft that fell to us, a captain for the team. He played edge rusher before as well. Like he was actually recruited to be an edge rusher. They moved him off the ball, became a dog. Still, so him and Zach Bond together is going to be nasty. Even like Makuba, the safety that we drafted, he kind of looks like a little CJGJ like. You know what I mean? Like kind of.
Who said that? Who said that first?
You did say you said it, but he really is. He brings a little attitude to it. He can play nickel. He played nickel with Clemson actually. He hits and he can get to the ball. So, and then you even have the later rounds. You have Ty Robinson in the third. He's like a 6'6", big defensive lineman. Got 7 sacks last year from D tackle. I think him playing next to Jalen Carter, like he's gonna have more of the same. So I'm not saying he's gonna get that many to begin with, but a lot of opportunity. And we even drafted. I think our last pick was Powell Highlander or something like that. He's the edge rusher from Virginia Tech. He led the college football, I think, the last 2 years in sacks, like overall. He had 25 and a half sacks the last 2 years. So, I mean, anytime you can bring that type of like talent and like at least production into your team, you're doing something right. So, very, very happy with my team. I can't complain. I do wish we could have came out of there with a tight end, just because there's some uncertainty around Dallas Goedert and if we're gonna get rid of him. But hey, man, I mean, I still think we hit a lot of points, so I'm happy with it.
Your best pick was Kyle McCord.
Hey, I mentioned Kyle McCord in the feature. I mentioned him on the last episode too. That's the crazy part. Did not think so Philly, but I did mention him. So it's funny. He's gonna be our QB3. Got to give Terry Keys QB2, but hey, man, he got his opportunity with us. He get to sit back and hopefully we can train him for high pick in a couple years. That's the best.
Right.
Well, who knows? You know, we thought the same thing with Hurts and Wentz, and then look what happened. So who knows these days?
Yeah. What you think, Nell? Are you
No
hopeful?
complaints from me.
All
Hopeful
right.
is an interesting word to use. I like the draft. Let's just leave it there. They didn't piss me off. I said in the preview, I would like them to focus on the trenches, O line, D line. I thought they did that. Drafted a corner. Got
Running back.
got a running back from the running back from Texas. What's his last name? Jaden Blue. Got a linebacker. So only thing we didn't get was a receiver, which I'm not too mad at, but we can figure that out at a different time. But offensive line, Zach Martin just retired, so definitely had to shore up that guard spot. Um, Demarcus Lawrence left, so needed a defensive end. I think they drafted a D tackle in one of the other rounds too. I might be wrong, but I think they drafted another D lineman. But yeah, so no complaints from me. So hopefully, these young players can ball out, and we'll see what we got next year.
And your first round picks already talking cash to the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean that can be good or bad. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because if he has a bad game, well, that quote would definitely be pulled back up. So let's just hope he better hope he balls out. Because
It's
You know,
just funny to
Jojo.
talk like that when you're in a division where like we all have like good D lines. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
I mean
you're putting swords in your back.
he is a cowboy true and true. He will talk his stuff before the game is played on the field, and then when he don't show up, he probably won't say anything.
Oh man,
But he
what a
seems like
guy.
a dog, so I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah. Hey, good for him. Good for the Cowboys. My Bucks. I expected this from us.
We didn't ask for your thoughts on the Bucks, bro.
I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them. I feel like I might as well. We got two receivers. We got receivers for the future. Emeka Ibuka. Obviously, I'm not an Ohio State guy, but I do know he was pretty productive his entire time. Joe, you're a receiver guru. You like him, right? He's good with me. He's good with me.
He's
No,
gonna be a guy for you guys.
we got Tez Johnson, another exciting player, and that's Bucky Irvin's best friend. Joe was talking about getting the quarterback for or the receiver for your quarterback. DC said they got Quinyon's guy, so we went and got our guy's guy to make him happy too. Everybody's just making amends around there. We got um, two good corners. Ben Morrison had some great tape before the hip went down, whatever. And then we got some edge rushers. So, we got everything we
Lord
need.
knows y'all need some corners.
I was gonna say, let's talk about those corners of yours. How you
Oh,
feeling?
I would like for us to get more corners because what I don't want to see is Jamel Dean be pegged as our starting corner just because. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that he needs to put up or shut up at this point. We traded Carlton because we thought he was the guy, and all he gives us is injuries and 15-yard cushions. So I don't want to see it no more. I'm cool. I'm cool on that, man. Todd did his thing in the draft. The Bucks will continue to be great. Uh, any final thoughts from anybody regarding the draft? Anything anything you wanted to say today that you just didn't get to say? No,
Yeah.
everybody's great.
I
Hey,
feel like the Cowboys did a good job drafting. Actually, I want to say. I mean, Jaden
Hey,
Blue, I think was a crazy pickup. So that's also to shout him
for
out.
for those of y'all not watching, that's listening, Nell does have on a Dallas shirt. That is the first,
You're repping them
and
again.
and if you can see in the background, his Philadelphia flag is now down because he knows it's time to transition over.
Honestly,
Now,
that might have like
now
fell down during the
it's okay.
show.
No,
It
you did
was
it on
up.
purpose.
It
You
was
did it
up.
on
Like I
purpose.
fixed
You're
it
trying to.
before I got
This is a
on.
this is a
So
cry for
like
help from Nell, just to know that he has to get ready to watch the Knicks go on to the next round. But we're not talking about that today. So
I'm
with
actually
that,
excited to
man.
watch the Knicks go on so they can get swept
Right, right. We're not
by the
talking about that on
Boston
this episode.
Celtics.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this episode of Two for Two, man. It's the NFL Draft Recap, man. It's season 3, episode 90. We appreciate y'all always rocking with us. DC and Joe, thank y'all boys for making some time to come back on here with us. Some
Appreciate
people,
y'all.
Yes,
y'all
sir.
gave us some great viewership. The folks they were loving Joe's very bold take about Travis. So always got to get these guys on here when we can. So we appreciate it. With that, show love on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's all there at 2 for 2 Pod. Keep showing love. With that, Keith and Nell and the guys, we out.